Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm losing my mind. My dog will not shut up. So we're 3 minutes late here, and I forget to unmute it because he just never shuts up. So, Herschel, I'm going to drop kick you through a wall. Appreciate each and every one of you taking the time, though, tonight. Hope you're having a great Friday. I will be back later tonight live with Fan Friday, answering all of your fan questions. We've got some good ones. But I'm here with a list of all of the available free agents on offense. Tomorrow, we're going to go through the defense. Kind of hopeful we don't have to worry about a certain position. But we'll see. Hey, I'll be up till 5 a.m. making sure that we don't make any moves. But appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you're having a great day. But we're going to roll right through this. If you got any questions, any comments, I'd love to hear it. Whatever your thoughts may be, which position, I'm going to go through each one of them. We're going to look at all the remaining free agents on offense here: quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, and of course, offensive line. And I will break down my top 10 guys as we go through those positions, which guys I think we should be looking at. So let's get this thing going, and it'll be part of it. Not at the end. I'm not giving you my top 10. So you'll see how we're doing it here. Let's ride right into this thing. But I appreciate each and every one of you. And let's hear your thoughts down below, whether you're watching it live or later. I'd love to hear what you got. But quarterback, there are some guys still available if teams are needy. Now, clearly the Eagles just signed Marcus Mariota last night, so excited about that. But you've got some, if you're in need of a backup quarterback, whoever you're a fan of, you've got guys like Bridgewater. Now, got Lamar Jackson on that list because, well, someone can try to make an offer and they can match all that great stuff. But I'm sure he'd hope to get a deal done. That's a crazy situation in itself. But you've got some other guys. Matt Ryan was released. Carson Wentz out there. Mike Glennon. So, whoa, the company you keep. And then you see the second list here. We got more, second, third string guys here. Nathan Peterman. I know Cam Newton still wants to try to come back. You've got guys like Nate Sudfeld, Joe Flacco, Joshua Dobbs there would be an intriguing one. But for me, the Eagles just got Marcus Mariota, so I'm not too concerned about this one. But you see there are a couple of restricted guys, and they put a low tender on Tyler Snoop Huntley. And if anyone was to offer him and they don't match, they'll get something small in return, probably 7th round pick, whatever it may be. So I don't have anybody for this position. The rest of the guys, I'll have somebody at the end, but there's no quarterback that I think should be a target for the Eagles because, well, we just got Marcus Mariota. So let's take a look at the running back position. And here, the Eagles, they've got an interesting situation there. And we talked about it. We were going to let Miles walk. We knew we would bring in a free agent. I like Rashad Penny. And if he stays healthy, I'm excited about it. But you definitely got to add to that room, I think, in this draft. But if you're looking for a free agent, there are still guys available. You see Kareem Hunt there, Leonard Fournette, Damian Harris is still out there. And, maybe if you want a premier back, you're willing to pay the 6 to 8 million range. You go for someone like Damian Harris, but I don't think the Eagles want to. That's why we let Miles walk. So whoever you're a fan of, you've definitely got some options if you are in need of a running back. But there's another Browns running back here in D'Ernest Johnson. He is available. And guys like Rex Burkhead, Tywan Jones, Ty Johnson, Benny Snell, Sony Michel. Hey, Marlon Mack's out there. And, you've got some intriguing names there, some guys that were much better years ago, but you've still got some options if you are in need of a running back there. And then I never leave out the fullbacks. So we'll talk about them too. There are a few guys available there if anyone's in need of a fullback. But out of that list, with the Eagles room, I think I'm good right there. But if you were to want to add another free agent, add somebody into the mix, how about somebody we've talked about the last couple of years that can help you in the return game? And I just think, he's great with the ball in his hands, and I think the Eagles could definitely use him. But look, I'm a big fan of, what we've got right now. I think that, I think it's going to shock some people because you've got the best offensive line in the game, especially when running the ball. But you've got Kenny G, you've got Rashad Penny now, and Trey Sermon. We're going to see what he does this summer. And then Boston Scott was added back to the room. So you've got guys there, but I think some more competition wouldn't hurt. I would personally probably go in the draft, but if you're going to go after any free agent, I think a low-end guy wouldn't cost you much at all. I think going after him, somebody that truly is, and this is if you're looking at Rashad Penny as being one of your top guys, and I think he could if he stays healthy. So if you still want to get somebody that's your kick returner, that's a guy you could do that with. Now, again, in the draft, there's a lot of guys I would like in that situation, but I like competition as well. So for me, Dearness Johnson is a great choice. But let's keep this bad boy moving. We'll get on to wide receivers here. But Kareem Hunt, yeah. Only thing is, the Eagles will not be spending that money, just like they did not for Miles Sanders. Yeah. No, what at the joint practice? Yeah, all the players and coaches were talking. I saw people trying to make a thing. We remember when they said we were trading for him then. That did not happen. And the Eagles are not going to invest money into the running back position like that. That's why you saw Miles Sanders leave. So for me, you go to the draft, you get cheap or a cheap guy like that. So we'll keep it moving into the wide receiver here. And there are guys available here too. You saw Robbie Anderson or whatever, Chosen Anderson, he changed his name to. He was released. You got Odell, you got Aguilar, Carter, Chark, Crowder, Goodwin, Hardman. Look, there are definitely some good names out there. Julio's out there, Marvin Jones, Landry, McKenzie, Pascal's still out there. So, I mean, I think for me, I would like to upgrade the wide receiver position. I think there are some very intriguing names in this draft. We'll see what we do there. But, oh, man, there are still some really good receivers left. I just don't think we have to break the bank for anybody because of the fact that we have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And you can save a couple mil by cutting Quez Watkins. So maybe if you wanted to move on, add somebody else into that room. I mean, there is a plethora of options here. And you see, man, I've got a few pages here for the wide receivers, but, you know, some lower end guys, a guy like Andre Roberts could help you in the return game. You got Demarcus Robinson there. Kenny Golladay was released, Cobb and Bird and Hilton. I mean, you've got some guys definitely out there if you're in need of a wide receiver. And I think the Eagles could definitely be looking to improve there, but I don't know that it's going to be with any of these guys. Now, you could add competition there. They're free agents. So these lower end guys, you see somebody you like, maybe Will Fuller wants to try and make a comeback. Maybe you give him a shot, something like that. I just don't think we're going to invest too much money when you've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as your top two. So, look, Devontae's still on his rookie contract. That's great. But I just think that, you know, we have to spend our money at different resources, and we'll see how the safety position plays out. So who knows? But you see some restricted guys here. Again, you know, there is a tender on each of them. And if someone tries to re-sign them, they don't match it. They get something back in return. So you've got Jalen Guyton, Hollister, Callaway, Sims there. And Jalen Guyton, I really like him. I assume they will try to keep him. But if someone makes an offer, we'll see how that goes down. But I picked a few for this position because there are some guys I do like from this list. So at number 3, we talked about him last week, Jamison Crowder. I think, you know, 29 years old, bringing a veteran presence. He would definitely be somebody that I would be perfectly fine with coming in, helping you in the return game, helping you as that slot wide receiver. I think that would be, and it wouldn't cost you that much, you know, with his injury history, everything going on with him. You just hope he stays healthy. Sign him to a cheap deal, and I think he would fit in just fine. Now, the next guy, we talked about him. He was my number 1 last week when we talked, but he's my number 2 right now because I got one guy in front of him. But you see, 29 years old. We all remember he was with the Eagles years back, and he's been around the way till he finally started making an impact on offense. And go back to last week's show, you can see all of his stats, his career stats, all that great stuff. But he is somebody I really like who can help you as, again, that slot receiver in the return game. And that's something I feel the Eagles definitely need. And I will reiterate that because that is the truth. So DeAndre Carter, I would welcome him back for sure. But this number 1 guy for me at wide receiver is Isaiah McKenzie, who was released earlier today. And look, he's a couple years younger than those guys, but about the same size, same mold, and the same damn thing I'm going to say as the last guys. He can help you. And look, he's a little trickster. He's a speedster. He will blow you out of the water, man. I love this kid. And I always was messing with him in fantasy. He was always real cheap. When you got to find somebody, you never know. This kid, he would definitely have his big games. And, you know, he spent time in Denver. Then he went to Buffalo. Then he was back. You know, he went all over the place. And just those 2 teams, but back and forth. So I think he finally found his home last couple of years, and he's really made an impact. So clearly he didn't do much the first few years, but I think he has really panned out, and it wouldn't cost you that much. Now, I'm sure they would like to maybe try to bring him back on a different deal because they saved cap space by doing that move today. So you never know. Now, they only saved like $2 million, so it'd be kind of stupid unless you're giving him a really, really small deal. But hey, I don't know. But I would definitely like if the Eagles were to take a gander into that one. And we'll jump into the tight ends here next. But let me see the chat here real quick. The key is Penny staying healthy. Yes, we want him to stay healthy for sure. Yo, what is going on, my man Q? Hope you're doing well. Old Scotty Miller, Jarvis Landry. Yeah, I'm not sure how many games he had last year. We talked about him last week, and I always liked Jarvis Landry. Was a huge fan of him, and I think if that's somebody you would add, I would be perfectly fine with it. But it doesn't help you in the kick return game. Another punt returner. So I would like those other guys I mentioned over him, but I still had him in my top, whatever it was, 5, top 8, whatever it was. So I like him. And I think, he's definitely fallen off a little bit, but a lot of these guys, when they get older, they're not the same person, but it's just, it is what it bring back T-Jax. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. But if it's Jimmy's number 1, it's probably, hey, I would love that. But we'll see, man. We shall see. And man, we've got some good moves already going down here. So I like where we're headed, and there's no rush. I see every day everybody's freaking out, and oh my God, we have to sign everybody. It's like, dude, there is months till the season starts. So we'll figure it out. CJ Gardner-Johnson's trying to figure out his market. He's going to have to buckle and just sign the deal that Howie gave him. I'm hoping that is the case. But I'll keep you up to date with all that stuff. But let's keep this train moving. Tight ends. And I've stressed this. A tight end, too. For me, look, Jack Stoll, he helps you as that H-back. I like what he brings to the table. I like what Grant Calcaterra brings as that Y-type tight end, and the same goes for Tyree Jackson as more as that receiver-type guy. I like them. I just don't think that they come in and give you that blocking tight end that we have talked about. So I've been looking at guys that not only can catch, but can block. So definitely got some options here. You see some guys that were released. Cameron Brate was there. You've got Foster Moreau. I mean, you got all kinds of talent here. Max Williams, O.J. Howard, Hooper, Dan Arnold. Hey, Arnold. And, yeah, I'm losing my mind. So the second page here, you can see there are a lot of options. Steven Anderson, that might be an intriguing pick. Maybe you bring back old Dick Rod. Adam Shaheen out there. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Nick Vanette, and then Zach Gentry. So you've got some options, but I picked 3 guys for this position too because I am intrigued by it. So let's take a gander at number 3. You heard me say about blocking. Well, that's what Max Williams can do pretty damn well. And I'm a big fan of his game. He can catch the ball too, but look, he was a second-round pick for a reason. The kid's got talent. You think, he was overshadowed in Baltimore. Then he goes to Arizona. He got hurt. They traded for Ertz. Now he is a free agent, and he's a veteran guy, but he knows how to block. You can allow that 12 personnel, 13 personnel a little bit to just flourish, man. Run the ball down their throats. If they take away that quarterback sneak, we're going to have more packages where we got guys that can actually block beyond just our offensive linemen. So I think Max Williams would be a great addition. Now, and number 2, this guy could be number 1 because he's the best tight end on the market, and he can do it all. He can block, he can catch. And I know he used to play for that. I didn't even like making the graphic. I just want to spit on it. I hate the Cowboys. We all know that. But this kid is talented. And, he's only 26 years old out of Stanford, coming into his 6th year. And I think 6'5", 244, pairing him together with Goddard would be wild. But I think this dude could definitely go get him some money. And I don't know that we would be in the market for someone in his range. But, man, maybe you pull something fast there because I know they know how important the tight end position is to us. So, hey, we can always dream, right? But number 1 here is the wild one. You probably don't even know who this is unless you watched the show last week. But Parker Hesse, this dude, look him up. He's an effing tank. You see him wearing in the 40s. He looks like a damn fullback. So, yeah, sign me up. And I know a lot of you guys are asking for fullbacks a lot of the time. You want the bigger guy. Well, here you go right here. I think Parker Hesse would be a great addition. Coming into his 3rd year, he was an undrafted kid in 19, moved from Tennessee to Atlanta. Now, Tennessee, wow. And now I'm hoping maybe the Philadelphia Eagles could bring him in. This dude would cost you absolutely nothing. He would come in here, and he could just be a blocking machine. And if there were certain plays you wanted to use, maybe you want to go back to I formation, use that fullback, you could use someone like Parker Hesse because that dude has the talent to do that. And look, with them threatening to take away our play because we were so successful with Jalen Hurts sneaking the quarterback, they didn't like us, winning. Obviously, they wet the field in the Super Bowl, so clearly they didn't like what we were doing last year. But I think that, we're going to have to figure out how to get beyond all the ways that the refs are going to help out the other teams. So we're going to need to do what we can. And I think a blocking tight end would be something I would be very intrigued by. But we're going to finish her off with the offensive line, another very important position for the Eagles because, man, we don't know if Seumalo's coming back or not. And I think, they're kind of waiting for CJ because if CJ comes back, maybe Seumalo doesn't. But they both could. But we'll see. Seumalo's got some suitors, and so does CJ. So, hey, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. I'm losing it, dude. I had no sleep last night. It's felt like the longest effing day ever. I'll be back later for Fan Friday. Don't worry. But we're going to have to get myself juiced up. Let's go. My man Tyree in the building. What is going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great Friday. We've got some free agents here we're going through. But look, Schultz was definitely a talented guy. Happy Friday to you, Liz. Got your question, got your graphic made. So hope to see you all later tonight. It's going to be around 9:30 when I jump on here, and we're going to be taking all your questions, throwing it down for Fan Friday. I'm pumped about it. So we're going to go through this offensive line here. You see at center here. Look, we don't need a center. Jason Kelce is back, baby. And you've got Cam Jurgens behind him. So I'm good there. But you've got guys like Pochitz there. The other Connor McGovern, Pat Elflein was released. John Feliciano, Aranis Grasu will clap. I will. So I think that you really, have some options if you need a center. But the Eagles really don't. Now on the guard here, you will see there are some options there too. Now, Nate Davis is not available. I actually deleted the wrong Davis there. Jesse Davis is who's supposed to be there from Pittsburgh. But Nate Davis, I believe, went to the Bears. Anyway, see some guys like Saffold, Scott, obviously Seumalo, Turner, Reisner, Pugh, Pryor, Gabe Jackson. So definitely got some options there. And there is a second page for the guards here. And look, again, if you definitely, if you're an Eagles fan, you're going to be looking at this list. But if you need a guard, you've definitely got some available options here. Justin McCray, I think right before I came on, signed with somebody, cannot remember who. I want to say Seattle, Chicago, but who knows. But Greg Van Roten, Michael Schofield, Colby Gossett, Sean Harlow. So you've got some options. AJ Cam was released. So if you need, you've got yourself some guards. Now, on to the tackle position. You've got some tackles out here too. Now, this is one where I don't feel the Eagles really need anything other than some depth there, and I would probably go younger. But if you need a tackle, you've got some starting caliber guys. You've got some older guys here. But on the next page, there is some starting caliber guys there as well. So whatever you may need, you've got it right here. So there are some guys, Greenridge, Hubbard, Daly, Clark, Nasecki, and look, Remmers is even there. That's all. Brandon Shell was getting some interest today. So look, you've got some options out there. And then there are some restricted guys, as we had talked about, all throughout the line. You see their position there, the center, actually centers and tackles, no guards, but you see they are restricted. So we'll keep it moving. And I got three guys here. Dennis Kelly, who we talked about last week. If you need a veteran to be there for depth at left tackle, right tackle, whatever, let's go. The Undertaker, 6'8". Let's go, baby. So all about that move. If you're looking for some kind of depth there at tackle, I would go younger. But if you're looking for a younger guy and a veteran, you could always bring old Dennis Kelly back, the ex-fifth round pick from the Eagles back in 2012. Dorial Green Beckham trade. Oh, God. But there's Jesse Davis, who we talked about earlier. So versatile guy, can play guard and tackle. And I think, adding a versatile piece, we've got Driscoll, we've got guys like that. So Brett Toth is back. You're going to have competition this offseason. And wouldn't mind, a guy that has had some starts in his career if you lose someone like Seumalo. So I think that Jesse Davis could definitely be someone you keep your eye on. But I think the number one guy for me will be Dalton Reisner. And this was my number one guy when we talked about the O-line last week. And he's not been signed yet, but coming into his fifth year, I thought he definitely developed pretty well last year. Much, much, much better than his prior years, second-round pick. But he's got the talent, 6'5", 312. And look, you lose Seumalo, you're going to want somebody, and the kid's only 27. So, hey, I think that would be a great option for me. But that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is all the free agents available on offense. I'll be back tomorrow with the defense. But, of course, I'll be back later tonight for Fan Friday. But let me hear your thoughts. You're watching this later. Love to hear who you would sign from those lists. Chance CJ. We'll see, man. I'd love to have CJ. Yeah, we got to pay CJ for sure. So I'll be back later tonight to talk about all those questions about CJ Gardner-Johnson and about everything else we've talked about the last 3 days. But I'm making the graphics. Got to do some things. So I'm thinking it's going to be about 9:30. So I'll make the post. I'll get it up there. Hope to see you then. I'm going to try to liven myself up because I am seriously beat up. But it's been a long, crazy few days here. But if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. You're watching this later. Comment down below. Let me hear your thoughts. But until later tonight, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You have yourselves a great night, great weekend. Stay safe. Oh, yeah, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Completely forgot, but I'm losing it. Have yourself a great night. And as always, go Birds!